The day the wind drew a map. Kaze loved maps. He loved drawing them and tracing paths with his finger, even on the gray, windy days when the world felt small. Maps only show where others have been, he sighed, looking up at the sky. A sudden, playful gust of wind snatched the page right out of his book. The wind spun his paper high above the village roofs, carrying it down to the dusty town square where it landed with a soft flutter. But the wind wasn't done. It used the page like a brush, swirling dust and fallen leaves into strange, sweeping lines, all pointing toward the steep lighthouse hill. A map, Kaze gasped. The wind drew a map. He scooped up his paper and raced to the small cottage where his friend, Haruka, was tending her garden. Haruka smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. The wind is always telling stories, Kaze, but only the brave listen close enough to follow. Kaze waved goodbye and began the long climb up Lighthouse Hill. The path was steep and winding, but he kept his eyes on the wind, watching how it rustled the tall grass. Near the peak, the lines of dust and leaves were gone. He felt lost, but then the wind caught the edge of his scarf and gently tugged it toward a low, shadowy opening he hadn't seen before. It was a shallow cave. Inside, the wind was no longer wild. It whispered and danced around a pile of smooth, round stones, making a single one glow with a soft, warm light. Kaze carefully picked up the glowing stone. It was cool, sea-polished, and strangely heavy, a perfect silent guide, a compass stone, he thought. He scrambled back down the hill and ran back to Haruka's garden. It was the map's treasure, he announced, holding out the stone. Haruka smiled, not at the stone, but at Kaze. The wind didn't draw a map of places, little one. It drew a map of courage. The truest path is always the one you are brave enough to follow.